I wonder who awaits you in the next chamber. I wonder...
What have we here? A study?
Wonderful. About time you got an education.
Guardians, dear guardians, when I see your faces, it is like the barriers of time tumble in upon themselves. But oh, how my heart aches when I think of the duty you adopted. It was more than even the gods had the right to ask of you. You did not want it, but you took it upon yourselves nonetheless. Though many wailed and many wept. In a ruptured world, wherein all resolve had crumbled, you renounced life and liberty to stand guard and protect every last morsel of creation. When I despair, I think of your sacrifice. In my darkest hours, I cherish the resolve that was you.
I suppose it's a good thing to be cherished.
Even though apparently we had to give up life and liberty for that to happen.
Bless the Seven, I am restored.
Hail, holy light, offspring of heaven, firstborn! About me? The Guardian's first disobedience, and the fruit of that forbidden box, whose depths brought death into this world, and all our woe with loss of source, I remember. I come no spy with purpose to explore or to disturb the secrets of your realm, but secrets of my own I bring. The secrets of another world, perhaps not lawful to reveal. Which way I fly is here. Myself am here, but in the lowest deep. A lower deep still threatening to devour this homestead opens wide. Whence thou returnest, and whither wentest, I know. Direction hardly signifies. To ask or search, I blame thee not. For Rivellon is as the book of the gods before thee set, wherein to read his wondrous works and learn his seasons, hours or days or months or years.
My map is slowly filling up with secrets. I've already read this.
the last chest, the last chest! If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it! Find my 4 sisters, no more than one in each of the realms of your wide world, and each by each, you'll discover how to...
One without a conclusive answer, though its resolution may lie in conception. Where you chronicle, I both chronicle and create. Where you arrive at conclusions, I spin origins besides.
Good to see you on the shelter plane. A home away most certainly. Like you, she is a mystery. But she seems to know you, doesn't she? Perhaps you'll meet her again and we'll learn more about her.
How can I help you, my friend?
How might I serve our mission? Threads I weave and tales I... Her story is the story of 1,000 tales. She has traveled the celestial sphere that is Rivellon more extensively than even once upon a time. Her favorite words. She was of incalculable importance during the wars against the Void Guards that threatened the creation of the gods. Wherever they hid, she found them. What plans they thought most secretive, she knew them. Teller of Secrets is her title, for in her world there are none.
I've already read this.
Did its sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah.
In the name of the goddess, halt! Who goes there? In that case, you can rest easy, Hunter. There is no source to be found here. Only the glory of Immaculates. Why, it's Silver Glen, of course. Once the abode of miners, now the abode of the faithful. We have traded the search for silver for the pursuit of divinity. I'm sure this sounds strange in what are strangers' ears, but You must know that but a short while ago, a frightful sickness felled us by the dozen, until she who speaks for the goddess brought us a cure. She showed us how we may overcome the frailty and even the decrepitude of our mortal bodies. That is why we now live a life of devoutness and civility, so that we may become immaculate. But I suggest you talk to Father Loic if you want to learn more about the ways of the goddess. Be welcome, therefore, to Silverglen. Blessed be all immaculates.
The Immaculates here seem to be a friendly enough bunch.
Seem being the operative word. Let's remain vigilant.
The degenerates here claim they have been cleansed. But I can still smell the stink of persisting putrescence wafting from their grimy flesh. Silverglen. This place sickens me. As you know, I once carried the burden of disease upon emaciated shoulders. Perhaps I had better explain in greater detail. Yes, let's get this over with. It went like this, Hunter. If a ghoul I had become, so a dark turn of thought convinced me. A ghoul's methods I should employ to escape the labyrinthian crypt of corporeal corruption. A necromancer I'd be. Yes, only from deep within the deliriums of death would I tunnel my way back into the gardens of life. I did unspeakable things in the dusky dungeons that twist like forgotten veins to long-deceased organs far beneath my castle's sunlit halls. Halls which held my throne and held the bed upon which Heraka slept, her very touch blessing the satin she reposed upon. Still there came no relief. Perversions I created in scores, but they were mere undead all. Creatures so piteous that the thought of cheating death in their guise frightened me more than the swing of the scythe itself. Like mosquitoes in the night, panic and despair beset me until I turned to that darkest of all arts, demonology. It had to be. There was no other way. I could feel the life slipping out of me like love out of a betrayed spouse's heart. So I studied tomes so old the dust that fell from their centuries' unperused pages never knew the light of the stars that now shine. I drew forbidden symbols. I spoke unhallowed words, and from the smoke that rose like a dragon's last breath, a demon appeared to me and said, "Ask, O blighted king, and you shall have." "Just tell me," I cried. "Tell me what ails me." Heraka. Never had I known a single word can cut deeper than the sharpest of daggers. With maddening glee, the demon told me she was one of his kin. A soul-swallowing horror that had been feeding on both my body and my spirit like a leech. An ancient being was she, that moved from king to king throughout the ages, filling their hearts with love then draining them of life. After such revelations, does one truly desire to live on? Death seemed like a mother then, welcoming me with her all will be well embrace. Yet still I feared exceedingly her seemingly sweet caress, and the oblivion that would follow. Release me from her, demon, and give me back the strength of a sick, free existence. So went my desperate plea. It smiled, of course it did. Smiled bare 100 razors as its eyes came alight with infernal fire. 1,000 years I will give you, it whispered. But then your soul shall be mine to incarcerate in the depths of hellish nemesis. As for your throne, that I'll have now. What say you, O brittle king? Do you accept my terms? I think you know the answer to that question, Hunter. But I've said enough for now. These memories are painful to recollect. So let us turn to the rest of them later. Good. No use in standing about.
Well, well, well. So our very own demon hunter once dabbled in the so-called darkest of arts himself. Neither can I. Clearly, his great love was almost the very death of him. She broke his heart in more ways than one, and I too would go to any length to repair it.
Beware of the lost ones out there, Wanderer. Their blood is impure.
Psst. Over here, Hunter. It's me, Ahu. Over here, Hunter. It's me, Ahu. Source Hunter. You've made it into the hamlet of Silverglen, I see. Unnerving spot, don't you find? Leandra has fashioned herself a hero here, but the townsfolk don't seem to know the truth behind the conduit, though they call themselves Immaculates. They're thick as trout, if you ask me, and unnaturally obsessed with ancient teachings. I haven't seen Leandra here myself, but she must have put on quite a show of magical mastery to enthrall a crowd of shaggy miners, to have them hop on the bandwagon of a shadowy religion wholly alien to them. Haven't you heard them whisper of the blood? How their eyes shine when they discuss certain stellar stones? Star stones, of course, which drenched in blood become bloodstones and are used in healing rituals. Now, I can see how it could be a fantastic thing to nurse a dying human back to health, if all it takes is to sacrifice a toad. But I spy bloodlust in these people's eyes. A bloodlust that goes beyond the usual meaning of the word. They all act like they're following a benign goddess that will lead them to paradise. But I'll be a dappled Dalmatian if any of that is true. The advantage of being a puss, my friend, is that one can pussyfoot. A white-haired wizard draws attention, but a cat can move about unnoticed and, indeed, unseen. Not that I'm not extra wary of these bloodsuckers, though. There's a conspicuous absence of pets in this eerie little town. I've been shadowing the local priest, a man by the name of Loic. I have the feeling he knows more than most in Silver Glen, for I've followed him in the night when he meets with cloaked strangers, and goblins even. Mangoth, Hyberheim. Of strange things I've heard him whisper. Yes, this priest has shady goings-on written all over that smug, holier-than-thou face of his. But we must start at the beginning, Source Hunter. The White Witch is still at large. If we want to get to the true heart of Leandra's doings, we must start with her sister. And she's far likelier to be in her cabin among the trees than here among Leandra's followers. The Immaculate's presence here is highly disconcerting. But we mustn't lose sight of our mission, Source Hunter. The White Witch resides somewhere in the wilds of the surrounding forest, and we must find her.
Blessed be the conduit! Bow before the goddess and bow before her mouth on this earth, the conduit.
Immaculate I
Hold
want to
high
be.
the knife
The blood
and let
of
it
the
plunge
lost
into
will
the lost,
flow.
Let me so that
spill
by
blood
their
for thee,
blood
O Holy
we may
One.
redeem this downtrodden realm. Immaculate it was, immaculate it may be again.
Let me spill
Welcome
blood.
be, O seeking souls, to this holy house of Immaculates. I am Loic, enlightened one among Immaculates, spokesman for the holy conduit, as she is spokesman for the goddess herself. Hers is the blood. Then it shall be my pleasure to answer them. We are the chosen ones of the goddess. The benedictions of the blood render our bodies and spirits unblemished, for such is her mercy, that we may all become part of the sacred soul. And you too, Seeker, could become one such part. The conduit, yes. She, the most exalted of all, second only to the goddess. It was she who brought us first her divine words, then her divine will, a will made real in blood. Truly, though, she is quite beyond your concern, O wandering soul. She stands so very high above your humble station.
Immaculate I want to be. The blood of the lost will flow.
The goddess is the light and life of all. Corrupt is the world that generations of men and beasts have left behind, but immaculate it may be once more, cleansed in the blood of the unworthy. The few The proud, the enlightened, theirs will be her kingdom. When red has run until no red is left, a paradise we will have shapen, and the goddess will dwell among us.
The blood of the
Diligently will I
lost
read
will
the words
fall.
of the goddess.
You find yourself in the goddess's temple, therefore it follows she wants you to take the true path. So here, have this hallowed tome, read it, absorb the wisdom within, then find the second part and do with it the same. If an immaculate you want to be, a test of knowledge shall be your first step towards enlightenment. Do you hold it to be true, O Seeker, that you are ready to be tested? A most sacred trio of queries shall I put before thee, but even if thou falterest but a single time, unworthy will thou be deemed of the goddess's love. Your unpreparedness disappoints me.
Diligently will I read the words
Let
of
me
the
spill
goddess.
blood for thee, O Holy One.
Blessed be the goddess, and blessed be the conduit.
Have you ever seen a creature?
Do I have a good-for-nothing troll? Just stands there and mopes like a mule.
Remember when that redhead used to come by and cheer him up?
Oh, yeah. You know, I bet she was just feeling sorry for that whiny lump of toll-taking fat.
I hope you haven't come for work in the mines. Overrun by goblins, they are. But why toil in the dark when you could bask in the light of the one-way?
Friend, this is most excellent news. Welcome to the Immaculate Fold.
Yes! If these villagers ever find out what Lawrence did, it's curtains for him.
Source hunter, are you? What brings you to this neck of the woods? The goblins? The orcs? The cult? Or the whole pretty bouquet? Don't be surprised if you hear more than a few unkind words about yours truly around town. An overseer's got to enforce his share of unpopular guild decisions, you know.
I just know I could take you on a wild ride if you let me.
I'm finished with this one-pony rodeo, though. I did my best by these roughnecks, and Now it's time for old Brandon to take a load off. In fact, you may be able to help speed my retirement plan along.
I must say, I'm also intrigued.
Oh, I knew a source hunter'd perk up at the sound of a challenge. Between you and me, the Troll King's sitting on a piece of treasure of more value than even he knows. A metal called tenebrium that can fetch a prettier sum than its weight in gold. I intend to lift it, sell it, and live out the rest of me days in comfort.
Hi, wanna have a good time?
The devil's in the details, though, and I haven't managed to find a way to access the King's Cave, much less make off with the stuff without being noticed. But you're a source hunter. You can sniff out any point of mystery. So let's make a deal, You find the tenebrium and bring it to me, and I'll deliver you a few pieces of information about Silverglen, and Lawrence in particular, that are sure to make your mouth water. I wouldn't wish the wrath on me worst enemy, though. So let me give you a little something to contain the tenebrium bars. It's lined with the fragments of a special stone that keeps rats' ill effects at bay.
Hi there, cutie pie. Wanna have a good time?
Apart from Gungir's stature and incurable case of the uglies, he's not so different from a parakeet. Got a brain the size of a pea and a fervent passion for all things bright and shiny. The nutty oaf sits on a river of silver beneath these mines, but leases it to the mining company for a fraction of its worth in gold. He'd rather put those hefty minions of his on toll duty than mine these hills himself for 5 times the reward. I can't be certain myself where his cave is located, but at least one of those oaf lackeys of his must know where to look. They've got to do something with all the gold they've gathered in the course of guarding those damn bridges, haven't they? I'm no man to refuse a source hunter. Ask away, friend. A strange sort of substance, discovered here around 2 years ago, and folks have been clamouring to get their paws on the rancid stuff ever since. To the right buyer, it's worth more than diamonds.
Well, kick my cap and call me Sue. Taking tasks from back dealers, are we? God's almighty.
Must you look every gift horse in the mouth? Tenebrium may well prove to be of incalculable value to us. And us, unfortunately, still includes you, Sue.
A source hunter! My liege, I am at your disposal. I am Lawrence, the representative of the mining guild responsible for operations in Silverglen. Please, valiant hunter, let us know how we can assist you. Oh, I am no one special. Merely a humble servant of the guild, and shepherd to the happy flock of miners within this settlement. My only cause for complaint, Your Grace, are these awful goblins. They're starving us out, refusing even a single honest miner his right to work. Perhaps, my most upright highness, you might be able to help us with this little problem. You must forgive me if I become somewhat overcome when discussing it, my liege. To think how I've been betrayed. To think how the humble miners of Silverglen suffer. I invited a tribe of goblins to assist us in clearing the tenebrium from our mine, you see. The leader of the troop, a satin-spitting Satan named Drexis, promised to clear the tenebrium and be gone. When the job was done, though, he and his band of totem-brained fiends refused to vacate. They've kept close guard of the bridges to the mine since, and they'll slice whoever dares approach them into ribbons. These goblins follow Drexis like lemmings, Your Grace, and if only I could undo the traitor, they'd slither back to the swamp they crawled from. Drexis's head on my mantle would save countless miners from a slow starvation, my liege. What's one goblin over countless disenfranchised workers? Please, Your Grace, I am completely at your disposal. Those brutes! I invited them here to save our valued miners from the ill effects of clearing tenebrium, and those interlopers met my invitation with a hostile takeover. They haven't allowed a single human miner past them in months, and meanwhile my men have all but forgotten their vocation and turned instead to their damned religion. Useless stuff, my liege, worse than common dirt, but 10 times as difficult to extract and infinitely more dangerous. If only we'd known in advance the terrible effect rot would have, we would have stopped trying to clear it immediately. Yes, a dreadful business, that. I've been fortunate enough to avoid the sickness so far, my liege, but my heart truly breaks for the families of those who've been afflicted. You see, my liege, when a miner has been overlong exposed to tenebrium, he begins showing certain symptoms. Gangrene about the extremities, fatigue, malaise. At first, we attributed these symptoms to, well, to poor diet, laziness, and general malingering. Had we known then what we've since discovered, we never would have continued operations. But alas, mistakes were made, and those we lost can never be brought back, no matter what that crackpot conduit would have one believe. My liege, you ought not to concern yourself with the fraudulent leader of a crackpot cult. Really, the whole affair is an utter embarrassment to Silverglen. Some insane huckster calling herself the conduit of the goddess made her way to Silverglen at the height of the rot hold on our miners. The people were desperate, you see. When by magic or illusion she managed to cure a handful of them of the affliction, every last one of the bunch began speaking of her as though she were some messiah. Now most of the town is taken with her little cult of immaculates, as she calls them. Fortunately for her, she disappeared shortly after her little trick, or I would have thrown her into prison and swallowed the key myself. Imagine hypnotizing an entire town with nothing more than snake oil. Enough to know the whole institution has been a blight on productivity. With the blessings of the conduit to replace a sense of a job well done, the miners care hardly at all for getting the mines back in good working order.
I don't mean to make trouble where there ain't any, comrade, but in my years of hunting source, I learned that anyone so eager to climb into your lap after a moment's meeting is hiding something they hope you won't discover. I'm not saying this Lawrence character is involved in sorcery, but it wouldn't exactly surprise me a lick to find out he knows more than he's letting on. Warms my heart to picture him squirming about plain as day with 3 seasoned source hunters on his tail. Nowhere to hide his sniveling mug than at the bottom of a burlap sack.
Hi there, cutie pie. Want to have a good time?
Beware of the lost ones out there, Wanderer. Their blood is impure.
Hello and welcome to our shop. I am the son of the proprietor, Nadia. You've probably noticed that my mother Nadia and I aren't from around here. No. We traveled rather far from our hometown to plant new roots here in Silver Glen. My father, Ben, his death was somewhat mysterious. And we've traced the puzzle back to this little settlement. My mother will have plenty to say on that subject, if you're interested. Ma's a bit intense, to be sure. Set in her ways, but fiercely loyal to the family. Help her out and you've got a friend for life. Cross her, and you'll be better off skipping town. Not that that'll stop her from cursing your line for the next 1,000 cycles of Bendis. My father was a good man, equal in character to his wife. His death nearly destroyed us, Ma and me. But now we're here, and we won't leave until we've held the proper parties accountable for their role in his death.
Farma Malbenita, a source hunter in Silver Glen. I have traveled mile on top of mile to find help, and now help has, how you say, appeared from skinny vapors. My story? Well, this is no small tale. I think perhaps you will be more interested in the, how you say, the short end of stick. I believe Lawrence, the leader of Mining Guild, tell my husband and many of other workers to mine deadly ore called tenebrium. Lawrence knew that this ore caused rot. Charming name, no? Yet ordered miners to continue. Many men, my Ben among them, become the sickness. And now they, how you say, kick down the bucket. But the sickness, it is not normal. It kills swift and terrible, not unlike Source. My son Sebi and I travel from our home to find truth. But this has proven not so easy. My sweet little Pomargo Vizago, my darling Ben. We got along like, how you say, peas and ferrets. But here there is work, very well paid, in mines, clearing special rock from silver mine. So he leaves Sebi and I to come to Silver Glen. We wait with hearts like stones for some months. And one day, we see familiar figure moving with strange steps on path toward cottage. We run to meet him and take him into our arms, but he collapsed at our touch. We help him inside and set him to rest. But he was in terrible condition. Each hour he grow worse, rot so fast we hardly recognize him after 2 short days. He slip away from us, and we bury him with much grief. When his father die, Sebi become restless. Being of the age, he join army and go straight to front line. Though I was nearly old woman, I join army as healer to be near and look after my boy. There we saw special legionnaire using strange weapon. And this legionnaire soon come to my tent with the same disease that killed Ben. I discovered the tenebrium ore in this weapon. It was the ore that killed them both. I come to Silver Glen to discover truth, and here I find Lawrence, that arrogant man, conducts his business without apologize to any. Exactly this. Please, Source Hunter, you must help me prove that Lawrence made his workers to mine deadly tenebrium. For your help, I offer blessing from my homeland. Se vi mal successos, mi planto serit sarbo cae tormenti via nepo subgiai branco. Translation is difficult, but it means something like, if you fail, I will plant cherry tree and haunt your grandbaby beneath branches. Good luck. I will do my best to give answers, Source Hunter. I have not found scrap of civilization among these apes. Sebil longs for heaping plate of my famous sire mule, but the local fairs support no fine food, unless squirrel meat inspire you. As for neighbors, well, those cultists would rather sacrifice supper to goddess than eat it. May Zalmoxis strike him down, the murderer! I have one goal in Silver Glen, to make him share in the suffering he caused. I am certain he has gain from making those miners take the tenebrium. Now I have only to prove it. Ha! I have no interest in those emasculates and their goddess. As Zalmoxis say in Book of Holy, I am jealous God. Why can I not read your mail if you have nothing to hide? Who is Aunt Sherry exactly? Aren't I enough for you? Nothing natural could cause such terrible disease at mere touch. If you ask me, I say dark magic, maybe even source at its root. That foul thing! A terrible disease. It transforms flesh of living into flesh of corpse, while infected person still lives. Arms grow black and heavy, legs grow black and heavy, hair rots from scalp. Cielo helpo min! Oh, what memories I have.
Striking it rich!
Nadia whispering all kinds of accusations about Lawrence, but until she has proof, whispers they'll remain.
My, look at you! I bet your blood'd fill a bloodstone good and proper.
Galaxy in my hand.
How's business for you anyway?
Swell enough, swell enough. Would be better if you'd glance in my direction, though.
Truth is,
Over
I'm a wee
here,
bit shocked
sweet
at the moment,
cheeks.
waiting for a
I'm
particular plan
aching
of
to
mine to
share a
pan out
moment
for now.
together.
What can I get you, hun? Nothing stronger than a glass of water for me, thanks. Coming right up.
I'm on
Of
it.
a new order, Paul. Oh, you startled me. Let me compose myself. Hello, stranger. How can I help you? Oh, me? Oh, I'm just the waitress around here, as you can see. My husband, Blosius, is a legionnaire currently stationed in Sicil, but I haven't heard from him in far too long. He's Will? But that means he's... Oh, no. Oh, not my cutie, broody buttercup. Here you go.
And here's a shiny coin.
Enjoy.
Keep the change.
Please leave me. I just want to work in peace and be alone with my thoughts.
Now that's a tasty beverage.